Okay, guys, can you guys hear me? Am I loud and clear on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here in South Florida? If you can hear me, please let me know in the comment section. I want to make sure that you guys can hear me loud and clear. Before I get started, of course, I want to say thank you for that support. Thank you for being behind me, for really liking and appreciating what I do day in, day out here on my channel. It's been a long 5.5 years, as many of you guys know, since I started my YouTube channel and my journey on this platform. It has not been easy. A lot of hurdles, a lot of ups and downs. And if you have been following me from the beginning of time up until now, you should have seen a growth coming from my brand Jay's Audio Lab as I am trying to take my business to higher levels. I am actually abandoning a lot of what I did in my early days because I've realized that's never going to take me anywhere. And so, in order for me to be more professional, in order for me to be just a better businessman as well as an independent reviewer, because I am still an independent reviewer. I still buy all my gear. I still pay for it out of my own pocket. I think all brands who have done business with me and all dealers who have done business with me can definitely say that about me. Okay, everything that they send to me, I have paid out of pocket. Okay, nothing enters my lab without being paid for. Just want to make sure you guys understand that. With that said, of course, I see 23 of you are right now online. You know the deal. Just hit the like button, subscribe. Hitting that like button allows for YouTube to put this live stream in front of other potential new subscribers so that we can continue to grow my channel. As it is very important that I continue to have a greater reach and obviously broader audience. The more leverage I have, that means the more content and the more interesting conversations you'll get to hear from me. Things that unfortunately you have no way of accessing because you have to be deep in the industry to understand what these conversations are about. Okay, so we got 25 of you today. Hopefully, you're having a beautiful Sunday afternoon or Monday morning in some places. As you know, um, I have a website, jaysaudiolab.com. Okay, and I want to make sure you guys, in case you have no idea what this is about, I'm going to show you my website really quick so that you understand what is it that I have right now at the moment. One second, share screen. Okay, so I'm going to show you the equipment that I have for sale. All right, so this is on my page, jaysaudiolab.com. In case you do not know what this is, well, this is the first time that I'm showing you my for sale section. Okay, if you go to my website, if you hover over to the lab equipment for sale, you're going to find a lot of the products that you normally see on my channel make their exit here on this page. Okay, so if you're looking for good deals on affordable stuff, mid-fi stuff, and ultra expensive stuff, top-end electronics, this is where you need to go. This is where I advise you to go. Okay, you can reach out to me about different products. Right now, I have a beautiful pair of Magical S7s with the M pods. Okay, Magical S7s do not come with M pods from the factory. The M pods are a $9,000 upgrade. These Magicals here are in beautiful Lamborghini color. Okay, and they come, as I said to you, with the M pods. Okay, these are for sale at the moment in case you are interested. I also have some pieces from a Greek brand, Ideon. Okay, this brand is notorious for creating quality products from Greece. Okay, I have this streamer. This streamer right here, you can utilize this streamer with essentially any dock that you want. Okay, it has a nice interface that you don't need to pay for. You can stream your title, you can stream your Cobus through this machine. You don't need to worry about buying an render. You don't need to buy an Tico Extreme, which I'm a dealer for and I support and stand behind. You can get it cheaper. You can get something cheaper like this, and it's also a very effective way of delivering the best sound performance that your system can deliver. Okay, I also have a clock. A clock is a very important piece of any digital configuration. You do not want to skimp on a clock. Clock makes a difference, okay? Especially when you're trying to take this to an entire new level. I also have a CH Precisions P1 phono stage. This CH Precision P1 phono stage, I might end up using with my future turntable. There you have it. I am announcing it. I have already purchased a new turntable. You will see my new turntable in the future. In the meantime, I am selling this P1 CH Precision pre-owned piece in excellent shape. Okay, Macintosh integrated as well. This never been owned by anyone, by the way. This integrated from Macintosh. Okay, has never had an owner. It's in spectacular shape, as you can see. Nothing to worry about there. Okay, you can definitely. I think you'd be very happy with this. I got Karma DB9s, excuse me, in a beautiful. It's like an eggplant color. It's a deep purple color that I personally love. These are available as well. MSB discrete magical M3s, which are, in my opinion, one of the best sounding speakers that I have ever had here in the lab. The M3s, not only are they very, very refined and highly resolving, I also like the look. The carbon fiber look on the sides to me is just spectacular. Never looking old whatsoever. I got a lot of cables, as you can see, from Shunyata, QR cables. I got some Wire World speaker cables. I mean, Magical A subs, which were actually paired with the M3 that I have at the top. So this came from the same system, the M3s in a pair of Magical A subs, which is a great subwoofer. I don't recommend that you use Magical loudspeakers with other brands of subwoofers, because I do believe Magical has very fast drivers. And when you put a sluggish subwoofer, you are going to hear the incoherence. You're going to hear how the speaker is moving faster than the subwoofer. I recommend Magical subs for Magical loudspeakers, okay? And of course, we got these amplifiers. I might dig out of the boxes. Okay, these are hybrid amplifiers, Ypsilon, in spectacular shape as well. Okay, so these are available. I might review them. I am not sure yet. And so yes, a lot more things that you can look at here on my site. I'm going to be uploading new things for your interest, hopefully for you, for your buying pleasure. And like I said, incredible components, great amplification, turntable that's brand new from TechDOS as well. Okay, this is a brand new current model premium Air Force 5 turntable. Okay, never been opened. I have two of those available. Lamp and Seder Pacific 2, recently released. This is approximately, I think it is 6 months old. This Lamp and Seder Pacific 2. If you buy this Lamp and Seder Pacific 2 from me, I'll cut you a deal on the Ideon streamer that you saw above, which you would need in order to stream music through this Lamp and Seder Pacific. So there's many opportunities here for you guys to really get your hands with on some great quality components. All right, so let me stop presenting and let's get started. So, okay, so as you know, I'm going to get started first with the most important part of this. Okay, we are only 5 to 6 days away from the Munich High-End Show. Munich High-End Show is happening in Munich, Germany, of course, and it is the largest show in the world. Nothing comes remotely close to it anywhere. Okay, and this is the Super Bowl, okay, of the audio industry. This is where a lot of the top manufacturers release their new products. Whatever they have up their sleeve, more than likely will always be unveiled here first. So, what are we looking forward to? What is it that is special about this show? Well, I visited Munich last year. I had a fun time with a lot of fans, people from around the globe that came and met me and talked to me. And now, in my second year in a row, I can say that this is expected to be far bigger than last year's show, not only because of the attendance, but also because it is going to be one show in which many brands are going to unveil their latest creations. So if you're wondering, give us a little bit of what you're talking about, Jay. All right, let's get started. I'm going to get you started right now so you can take a look at some of the things that will be unveiled at the show. So let's go with this one here. Zellaton. Okay, the Zellaton loudspeakers. Okay, you guys saw me last year in Munich, blown away by the Zellaton Plural Evos. Okay, a speaker that I found extremely clean and clear, dynamic, articulate like no other speaker. Really good looking speaker, in my opinion. Great construction, a lot of driver technology. These guys have been around since the 1930s. So these people have been doing it probably longer than anyone else at the show when it comes to loudspeaker design and manufacturing. They are releasing their new line of drivers called the Ultra drivers. So what you're seeing here is one of their reference speakers that will make an appearance for the first time. These drivers that you're looking at right now, okay, these are not the regular drivers that you have seen on this particular model. This model in the past used to have these other silver looking drivers. They looked a little bit like Accuton drivers, but they're not Accuton drivers. Okay, now they're releasing a brand new uh, driver that is supposed to take things to an entire different level. So I am excited to cover this room, the Zellaton room. I have a private audition of this loudspeaker. I think we're going to do this Friday when it's only open to the press. I will be there listening to the speaker by myself and taking notes as far as what I hear, as far as what makes this speaker special. Then we'll make a video, and then, of course, I will be releasing the video on my YouTube channel. Current MSRP of this speaker is $274,000. So it is not for those of you who have a limited budget. Sorry, you guys know I dedicate myself to the ultra high end, although I am trying to bring in more affordable options from time to time. Like, for example, the PS Audio loudspeaker review, which will happen. I promised you that. I will make that a reality. But you more than likely are always going to see me getting really deep with loudspeakers like Zellaton and, of course, my Sonos Fabers behind me. These speakers are just essentially an all-out assault on all senses when it comes to music, when it comes to the expression of sound reproduction. So be on the lookout for that, okay? Now, let me show you another thing that will make, let me see, I'm going to show you something else. So this is another one that will probably excite you. Give me a second, guys. So I'm trying to present my screen, share screen. Okay, so I'm gonna okay, so now I'm looking for my next. Give me a second. Excuse me for that. Okay, let me just talk about the new DAC. There's a new DAC that's coming out as well. So here it is. I am looking for the images to show you. Cascade, here it is. All right, so I'm going to show you the new DAC that's being presented. Sorry about that. It's just a little bit difficult for me right now. I want to show you Cascade. All right, so this DAC right here, in case you do not know, is the new DAC that MSB is unveiling. All right, so this DAC, okay, will be the latest DAC from MSB. You are going to get a brand new design, complete departure from what MSB has done in the past, has absolutely nothing in common with previous generations. You cannot upgrade your current DAC into this DAC. Okay, it's not like you can go there and buy all the ports on the back and upgrade to new connections or anything of that nature. There is unfortunately no compatibility, no backwards compatibility with this DAC. So you have to buy a fresh, brand new DAC. It's called a Cascade. This will make an appearance in Munich. MSRP is set to be at around $95,000 is what I'm hearing. So yes, it is not necessarily a cheap DAC, but it's supposed to be far superior than anything else MSB has ever produced. Also, you're hearing it from me. Okay, there is supposed to be another MSB DAC. I do not know if they're going to display it there. Rumor has it MSB will be releasing a brand new flagship, brand new flagship DAC, which is not this one. There's going to be a flagship DAC from MSB to be released either at the end of the year or next year. MSRP, are you guys sitting down? Sit down for a minute. MSRP, $300,000 is what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. $300,000, okay? So don't kill the messenger. I'm only giving you the news. I have nothing to do with the price introduction. I didn't vote for the price to be that price, okay, or for it to be that high. I have nothing to do with it. My job is to tell you what's coming your way, okay? So if you have any interest in that, then you know what to do. So yes, so a lot of different products that are going to be released. We're going to have also a brand new loudspeaker from Goebel High-End, German company. I will be doing an exclusive video of this loudspeaker in Munich High-End. You're going to get to see it here on my channel. Okay, this speaker is finally under 6 figures. So it's not going to be, it's going to be, I think it's $40,000 or $50,000, I want to say, for the loudspeaker. So they're making finally that effort to lower their current production to something more affordable. Okay, I don't want to call it entry level, but I can't think of another word other than that. Okay, that speaker is supposed to be their newest creation that will hopefully be more reachable for some of you. Okay, so expect to see me there covering that room, and expect to see me also at the factory seeing other things that they have going on. There's going to be an event, and I'm going to be covering that event as well. I'm going to create footage for that. You guys will see it. Exclusive interviews, exclusive footage here on my channel only. Also, last but not least, we have new releases from Gryphon Audio. I don't know yet what it is. They have not told me what they're releasing, but there's something coming out of Gryphon. I heard there is a brand new 10 series DAC from CH Precision that will be releasing as well. I think it's called C10, I want to say. So there's going to be a brand new DAC there. And I have a gut feeling that Boulder is also releasing something new at Munich. I do not know if it is a brand new amplifier. I don't know what, some special things as well. So a lot of things going on, guys. My cable line is also introducing a brand new flagship cable. Okay, I haven't even looked at it yet. I'm the US distributor for that brand, and I don't even know what it is. I just found out 2 days ago that my cable line, Authentic Audio Images, in case you're interested, this is what I like. This is what I believe that I have here. That's $100,000. My cable line produces a lot of value and performance, okay, for the money. So if you have any interest in trying my cable line, let me know. But there is a brand new flagship cable coming from my cable line, okay? I've tried a lot of different cables. You know this. Many different cables in my lab with a lot of great loudspeakers from Magical, from Rockport, from Wilson Audio, from Focal, Magnepan, Martin Logan. The list goes on and on and on and on. I'm here to tell you, yes, I am 100% biased. I believe my cable line is tough to beat for the money, okay? Nothing is more expensive. It never goes above $6,000 for any cable. And you know, in the ultra high-end world, $5,000 for a power cord is not considered a lot, okay? Because we know there are power cords that go all the way up to $60,000. Yes, I did not stutter. There are cables, power cords that go up to $60,000 for a single power cord, okay? So this is why I decided to take on this brand, because I felt like there's got to be something out there that delivers a lot of quality, a lot of performance, and not break the bank. And that's what I think my cable line does. So you are definitely going to see that at Munich. I'm going to be covering my cable line. And last but not least, Strum Tank, another brand that I represent. Strum Tank team will be there unveiling their new crazy power units. The baddest power unit that can probably power your house with a single battery. It is going to be a 2 chassis Strum Tank unit. Okay, 100% battery piece, and it's probably going to be close to $100,000 for that. That will handle just basically any amplifier you want. There's no limit limitations when it comes to power. Okay, that will be the latest. I have not seen a picture of it. I'm excited to go and get in front of it. I want to talk to the guys. I want to talk to the German team to see what is it that makes it so special besides the massive sheer size and the two chassis that it has. Okay, so you'll get to see a lot of these things highlighted by me. And of course, I'm going to make a lot of phone content, whatever really I feel you guys would find interesting. I'm going to try to cover it. Please be advised, I cannot cover every single room. Small rooms, unfortunately, will get lost in the shuffle. Okay, I got to highlight the big players, the big names, the big brands, those that are really putting a production in front of us. Okay, I cannot span 3 hours in a tiny shoebox of a room. You guys don't even make those rooms go viral. You guys don't even care to watch. So remember, a lot of what I highlight at a show is because you all are essentially telling me what you're interested in watching on my channel by the likes and the amount of views. So I have a way of analyzing what is it that you guys are watching and you are not watching. Anytime I put a small room with average speakers and cables that are average, the views are not there. They're just not there. That just tells me you guys don't want to see any of that. You want to see the extreme. And I understand that because that was my initial, objective when I started this channel. So I totally get that. Okay, so you're going to get a lot of those incredible systems that you are craving to see here on my channel. Okay, so that about wraps it up. I leave for Munich in about 24 hours. If you are headed to the Munich High-End Show, please tap me on the shoulder. If you see me there, talk to me. Let's take some pictures. Ask me system-related questions. I am more than happy to stop doing what I'm doing and just have a chat with you. If you want your spouse to take a picture with me, please do so. Okay, I want you guys to engage with me. I need that engagement. I need you guys to feel me out in person. That's the best way to know what kind of person I am. Okay, the camera can only give you a certain energy, but unless you talk to me and you get a feel for me, you really don't know me. Okay, so if you're going to the Munich High-End Show, come out, come up to me, talk to me. I will talk to anybody and anyone who wants to have a conversation with me. All right, I'll see you in a few days. All right, shifting gears to the latest conversation that has been going around when it comes to the crazy $100,000 MIT ACC 268 speaker cables, or tone controls, as some of you guys call it. So I've been reading a lot of the comments on the videos that relate to this particular speaker cable, and it's a mixed bag. Some of you can appreciate the engineering. Some of you are actually curious to know what's under the hood of that box. Unfortunately, I'm not going to open the box. Cannot do that. Okay. And some other people think it's just nothing else than an overpriced equalizer. And I get it. I understand why you're saying that. It does have some knobs on the front, and I understand it resembles an EQ. I totally get it. But I can tell you this, though. The cables make a massive difference. These cables that I have here make a significant difference, even with all these knobs in the off position. Even in the off position, the cables make a massive difference here. Okay, so they bring a level of clarity. They bring a level of immediacy. They're so dynamic. They're so clean. They're so revealing, neutral to a point that it might get in your nerves at some point. That in the beginning stages, I was almost not liking them too much. I was feeling like, you know what? Maybe this is not the cable for me, right? Because I am hearing that they're not as impressive as the other speaker cables that I was using. So what I ended up doing was, well, let me change the feet from under the box. So I removed the spikes that the cables come with, and I inserted my footers that I sell through, authentic audio image footers. And immediately the presentation got to a whole new level. Yes, footers under the console box, which weighs nearly 50 pounds, by the way, changed the entire feeling of the music. That's one change that went in the right direction. Then after that, this is when I started to really understand what these cables are all about. I switched out of Roon and I went back to XDMS. Now, if you're wondering what is XDMS, XDMS is the proprietary software of Takeo. Okay, so if you own a Takeo music server, you can choose to use Roon or their own software. Well, as soon as I went back to the XDMS software, my jaw hit the floor. It completely killed Roon in every possible way. Roon sounded warmer, sounded rolled up. It had a narrower soundstage. It didn't sound as defined. It didn't have the same level of clarity. It didn't have the same density to the music that XDMS had. Okay, so the differences in software were so much greater or highlighted than I ever recall in the past because of these cables. So I was like, I can't believe this. This can't be right. So I went back to Roon after listening to XDMS. And yeah, the system went backwards. So that is when I understood that what I have is a transparency box. Mind you, I have all the knobs in the off position. I repeat, off position. And as I made more changes to my system, I started to play around with the distance from the chair to the speakers. Then I started playing with, the strum tank in the on or off position. You can select two different settings on the strum tank. You can choose on the grid, which is basically saying the battery is bypassed completely, or off grid, which means the battery is engaged. And the cables just revealed everything that I was doing. I don't think I've ever heard a set of cables, and mind you, once again, to show you the full objectivity of what I'm doing here, okay? I represent a cable line, and I'm telling you that I have never heard a cable be so transparent as this MIT cable. And I represent a cable line. Okay, so if you are going to say that I'm not objective, I don't know how much more honest I can be. It is an incredible level of transparency that, unfortunately, yes, I have to say, unfortunately, will make some of you upset. Because if you are not crossing all your T's and dotting all your I's with regards to your system and setup, this cable will call you out. And you are not going to like it. And you're going to be upset. And you're going to find maybe a little bit of roughness or lack of finesse in the presentation. And it turns out that what the cable is doing is telling you there's something upstream that I'm sniffing that isn't right. Your power is dirty. You need power conditioning. Your grid is filthy right now. The cable is impressive when it comes to that. It's literally like an MRI machine. I mean, it's literally like you're inserting your system inside of an MRI machine. And so I really appreciate that in my lab because when I'm evaluating components, let me tell you something, there is absolutely no escaping from this cable. Zero escaping. If it makes no difference, this cable will tell me, Jay, this made no difference. For instance, I'll give you a perfect example. There was absolutely no difference between Tidal and Cobus in here with those cables. No difference. I selected the same track from the same album on both platforms, Cobus and Tidal. Zero difference. So and I did this multiple times. I did this with Fleetwood Mac. I did this with Carlos Santana. I did this with Bob Dylan. I did this with a lot of different records, but it had to be the same record, okay? There was no difference in sound. Zero. This is why I said to you guys, if you're paying for, whatever streaming service you're paying and it's the more expensive one, I don't work for Tidal. Jay-Z is not sending me a check for telling you this. I wish he did. I wish Jay-Z watched this and he sent me a paycheck for saying this. There is no difference in sound when it comes to Tidal or Qobuz. The only difference is that Qobuz may have certain audiophile records, albums, if you will, that do not exist on Tidal. Like Qobuz may have better classical music and things of that nature. But when it comes to sound, there is no difference. Don't get derailed reading the forums. You know how I feel about the minions online. You know how I feel about people who don't have a high reference point. Okay. So if you right now have Qobuz and Tidal, and you some days think that Qobuz is better, I promise you it's not better. Keep Tidal, save the money. No need to keep spending more money on Qobuz. Until Qobuz can show us something different, right now, they're pretty much neck to neck with Tidal. Okay, so no need to have two subscriptions, in my opinion. I have them, but there's no need for that. Keep one. Now, speaking of cables, some of you in the comments section have been brutal, calling me names, calling me that I am the fool for spending the money on the cables, that I am the idiot for doing this, that I am the idiot for doing that. I am doing damages out there. I am doing just terrible damages because I'm promoting a cable that's $100,000. I should be going to jail. The manufacturer should be going to jail for doing this. This is just unethical, ripping people off with cables of that nature when it's all nothing but some sort of a I don't know, some rocks inside a box. That's what I'm being told. That's what I'm reading. But here's what you guys don't understand. Okay? A lot of people claim that cables don't make a difference. Well, I'm going to show you all something. Okay, I'm going to show you something. I got to show you this. And this is I don't want to disrespect this, but I got to show this. I don't want to disrespect this person or make somebody feel bad, but I got to show this. Okay, I'm going to show you this. 1 second. Let me see how I can get this going. If you guys can see this. How can I do this? So I got to figure this out with this software here. Okay. Let me see if I can share the screen. I'm trying to share a screen. One second, folks. I am going to show you something that you guys need to see. Bear with me. I got to show you this because this is like the type of stuff that really just oh man. Window. Okay, here it is. So this would be the individual that will tell you cables don't matter. System like this. So when you're listening to these people who claim cables don't matter, I can assure you of one thing. Their system doesn't look like mine. Their system is nowhere near close to the level of transparency, resolution that my system has. And that's what you guys don't understand. I believe, okay, 100%, that these individuals who are claiming that cables don't make a difference don't have a highly resolving system. They don't. And so when you're getting and taking advice from people, when you're taking advice from people out there, take a look at their system. How credible do you think this person is looking at it? You really think that you can trust someone's worth? I promise you, most of you right now have a better system than that system I'm looking at, that you are looking at right now. But you're taking their opinion as gospel. You're believing what these fools are saying online, not knowing that you may be hearing someone's opinion that has no freaking clue with regards to this conversation. I don't expect this person to hear a difference in that system. Hell, I'll tell you this. I wouldn't hear a difference in his system. So I agree with this person, 100%. This person right now that owns this system I believe if I sat in that chair, I couldn't hear a difference with regards to cables either. I agree with the person. So I don't blame them for saying that they can't hear a difference. I don't blame them. I believe them. Don't say and generalize that this is applicable across all systems because it isn't. It isn't. So when you are talking about cables and you're thinking about cables, I'll say this to you. Your system needs to be at a very nice level when it comes to transparency, neutrality. The system needs to be well set up. You're not going to hear a cable swap if you have speakers in the hallway of your room, if you have speakers in between the two cars in your car garage and you swap cables. Of course, you're not going to hear a difference. You're not going to hear a difference. But if you set up your system correctly with the right setup, the right space, the room is quiet enough, your system will definitely highlight that something changed for good or for bad. And cables, trust me, they make a massive difference. So next time you're reading these conversations from the punks online about cables not making a difference, you should just screenshot this picture that I have right now in front of you, in front of your face, and remember this picture. These could be the people that you are getting your opinion from. And yes, again, I'll repeat myself. I believe what this person is saying is the truth. He can't hear a difference. I believe he cannot hear a difference. I would never hear a difference in a system like that. Okay. So that's all I got to say about cables. Cables do matter, in my opinion. You cannot change my opinion. And I believe that if you want to, I wish I could open doors so that some of you can come in here and hear the differences anytime I swap out cables with these speakers behind me in my electronics. All right. So let's move on. Let me answer now some questions, okay? But before I get started, please subscribe, hit the like button. It's 114 of you here today. Okay, it is important that we call on more people. Subscribe. I got a lot more cool content. The next 7 days will be brutal when it comes to work for me, but that's what I'm getting out to do. I'm going to get in front of everybody. I'm getting to Munich before anybody else is. I am going to be putting content from Munich before you see it on any YouTube channel. Okay? Anybody. You need to subscribe right now because you're going to get the coolest content, and I'm going to give you the highlights of the show, the juiciest pieces of the show, really the rooms that most of you would be interested in looking at if you were there. I promise you, I'll put them before your eyes, before any other channel, and with cool videos and interviews. Promise you. Nobody is going to outwork me. No network, no magazine, no other YouTuber, nobody. Nobody is going to outwork me. I promise you that. I promise you that. Okay, so I'm going to read some questions. I'm going to go down the list. My opinion on Shunyata power cords, some of the best power cords known to us. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about Shunyata cables in general. Nothing bad to say. MSB change, also the discrete DAC. I don't really know. I think the only two DACs that are being swapped or discontinued are that last two, the reference, I think, in the select two. Let me see. Bavaria, not even close to a tone control. If I want an average person's opinion, I will watch an average channel. You didn't climb to the top being an average, but I still don't mind some lower tier equipment if you feel it's quality enough. Agreed. No question about it. There's still some great products out there that doesn't break the bank. So I do believe there is some quality products out there that don't need to be quite expensive. Yeah, there you go. You are not a cable believer until you change your power cords. Yep. I'm glad some of you guys are trying, doing your own trials in your own space. That's so important to me that you guys do this. The PS Audio unit is for sale on my website. I have not tried it, so but it is for sale. I don't think I'll be pulling it out of the box to test it. Okay, let me see. Yeah, probably can't see much with those speakers shoved up against the wall, but some of you love to take that advice to heart and believe in that. Right? So that's what you don't see, the behind the scenes of who's telling you that things don't matter. That's what sometimes you fail to identify is understanding who is this guy? What does he have? Does he have a better system than I do? Why am I listening to this fool? Those are the things that some of you don't ever ask yourselves. It is, man. It's a funny ghetto picture, but it's a reality. Those are the cable naysayers right there. That's true. All right, let's see. 124 of you guys. Oscar, I agree. People in cheap systems don't believe it, just haven't heard it. I agree with that. Well, it's a special cable. That's all I can tell you, David. I mean, I said it. It's a very revealing cable. I wonder how good it is if I had their interconnects. I may, the problem with MIT is that they work very old school. Their system is not at the speed of other manufacturers. It's a very slow company. Okay, they are very slow. They take time to answer your calls. They're not as fast as immediate. I interacting with the customers. Okay, that's the problem with them right now. But it is an old company, and this is my first rodeo with the cables. Thank you, sir. Okay, you were thinking about the Boris and X line. There's a new L1 and 3. I don't know. I have not heard the new Access line, L3 and L1. Couldn't talk about that. I don't really have an opinion, to be honest with you. But if I know Boris, and I would say they're still going to be slayers when it comes to giving you this high performance for very little money in some instances. So I would say, yes, more than likely, that's going to be a surprising loudspeaker offering from them. Okay, so what do I think about the X1 speaker? Because only X1, but I almost tuning sound or something. I rather clinical sound. Well, I like the Borison brand. I don't have a problem. I loved the Borison O2 Silver Supreme Edition that I had here. It was a phenomenal, clean, clear sound with incredible depth, a tall sound stage, speakers that's appeared into the room, great off-axis response, great bass for such a small speaker, by the way. They only weigh about 60 pounds. The form factor to me was quite appealing. Not that these are not appealing, but these are heavier and harder to move, as you know. It's a much more difficult speaker to move around the room. I could definitely see myself with some Borison speakers in the future. I'm not telling you that will happen. That's not what I'm saying here. All I'm saying is there might be a possibility, maybe within the next year or two, of me bringing a Borison or a Zellaton speaker for that matter. I don't know. Time will tell. But I can say to you is that to me, they are definitely one of the leading loudspeaker manufacturers out there. Okay. The X1, if you found the clinical, I would say who knows? Maybe it was your electronics because with Gryphon Electronics, they did not sound any clinical to me. They were spooky three-dimensional. They had incredible resolution, beautiful imaging. I had nothing really negative to say about the speakers, really nothing. So I almost bought them. If I'm being honest with you, I almost bought the speakers. Is there a difference between a 2500 Strom tank and a 1000? Yes, the 2500 Strom tank, which by the way, right now it is in its MK2 version, which adds isolated outlets for digital devices like an MSB DAC, for example. I know the MSB DAC sounds tremendous plugged into a Stromtank 2500 MK2. The MK2 has dual inverters, number one. The MK2 also adds a beautiful sound to the music that makes it very musical and engaging, very sweet. The S1000 isn't that way, it's a little more neutral. But if you like a pretty sound that feels like it has a lot of luxury to it, I think the 2500 does that. The 1000 doesn't do that. The 1000 is more for leaner devices, meaning perhaps a music server, a DAC, which doesn't pull a lot of power, your routers and things of that nature. But it doesn't give you that feeling, this clean, clear, sweet, engaging sound that the 2500 MK2 does. I do not know if that's due to dual inverters in the 2500. Can't really say that. I'm not the engineer. But the 2500 is definitely a superior piece, no question about it. Yes, there is about a $13,000 to $14,000 gap between both, but I believe the asking price justifies because the performance is certainly there. The improvement in performance from the 2500 is more than justified its asking price. Okay, so Oscar, I was talking about the differences between Tidal and Cobus. First thing that I was thinking of was the streaming transport that most people let them hear a difference. Well, yeah, yeah. I don't know. My system is highly revealing. My digital is really some of the best stuff out there, and I could not hear a difference between Cobus and Tidal. If I play the same albums, as I said, same song, there is no difference. I couldn't hear one. Okay. And if there might be an album or two, you're going to have to dig deep and search for that album for hours. It's not it's not like saying it's not like vinyl against streaming. Okay, vinyl 8 times out of 10, in my opinion, beats streaming. Okay, it's not like that between Cobas and Tidal. Okay, it's barely any difference. I don't think there is any difference personally. That's my opinion, though. Hey, Marcus. Hey, look, OCD Mikey. A lot of you guys have been asking me, texting me, and all I can say is, look, he's got his own way of being. He has his own channel. He has his own brands that he stands behind. I gotta give it to him. He definitely goes to bat for his brands, and he represents them. Really hardcore. He's really hardcore with what he likes, and he doesn't really make any excuses when he thinks something is not to his liking. My only thing with him is that I don't believe there is a need to kick other brands in the gut in order to promote your own, right? I don't think there's a need for that because this is what makes the hobby interesting. There's flavors, price points for everyone, right? So if you think that product X is garbage and trash because you like product B, there's no need to say this is trash, this is 100 times better, right? There's no need for that. It's more like, here's why I prefer this product over this one. Well, this one allows me to do 2 extra ports, 3 more USB inputs. It also feels like the soundstage is deeper, wider. This one is a little more narrower, congested, in my opinion. It didn't have the same weight to the music. Give us facts. Give us facts. Quantify those facts. Tell us when that comparison took place. If you have your facts straight about what you're saying and you can articulate on what you heard, I think people are going to respect you more than saying, oh, it's just trash. It's garbage. I didn't like what it did. See, now I am embarking on, here are facts. Here's when I had it. Here's a picture of it. You saw it on my channel. This is what I heard through these speakers that I had at that point in time, and this amplifier and preamplifier. When I did the comparison, all variables were the same. This is why I feel this is a better offering. That's more of the professional way of comparing 2 products. And brand A can't be mad that you said brand B is superior if you have a way of proving that you had both and that you were in front of both and that you listen extensively, and of course that you can provide facts. I don't think a manufacturer gets upset if you can say that another brand outperformed their product, if you're professional about it and the way you articulate these things, I don't think brands get mad. I think brands get upset when you trash them, when you piss on them, when you literally destroy them. They feel like, why is this necessary? This harshness, all this, negativity and way to refer to us. We don't deserve that. And I agree with that. And I think that's where we are disconnected, right? But I'm nobody to tell OCD Mikey how to handle his business, how to handle what he does, how to handle his YouTube channel. I'm nobody. All I'm saying is, for me, I can't go about my business that way. It doesn't help anybody. And I'm not here to destroy anyone. That is not what I'm here to do. You guys know that. So maybe at some point, him and I will do a collaboration video. Maybe him and I will have a beautiful discussion where we can agree to disagree. He can present his point about X subject. I can present mine. I can tell him I respectfully disagree with that. Here's why. This is what my findings are. This is what I investigated, and I got all my facts together. This is why I feel this way. We can have a very healthy professional discussion. And I think you all would love to hear us both debate in a professional manner. At the end of the day, he could respect me and I can respect him and still agree to disagree. That's more of what I'm interested in doing. I'm not interested in getting into the UFC ring and duke it out. That's not what I want to do. Not interested in that type of programming. You're not going to see that. But don't be surprised if maybe him and I can do something in the future in front of the camera, and maybe have this nice debate going back and forth. I've thought about it. Let me see if we can make that happen. Sonos Faber Amati is a very warm speaker. It's the old school Sonos Faber, still a very good looking speaker. It's a warmer sound. If you don't really want a fatiguing speaker that is too in your face, too hyper detail, that's something that will get you fatigued soon and that leads to you know short listening sessions. I don't think Sonos Faber is the speaker that will get you exhausted. I think it's a speaker that will keep you listening for hours and hours on end. Okay, I liked it. It's a good speaker. I don't think I'd ever consider that, Oscar. I don't think I'm there yet. My journey hasn't really gone in that direction, but I'm not going to say that it may not happen at some point. I just don't think it has enough weight yet for me to explore that. I don't have enough requests. I don't feel like my audience or most of you are craving for me to review something like that. So that's why I don't think you'll see it anytime soon. But you know what? Maybe in 6 months to a year, that whole thing changes. And then I decide to buy an active speaker of some sort and bring it into the channel and give you my findings. Well, the Formula One race in Miami is happening today. Why am I not there? Well, I don't know. I think I'm more of a NASCAR guy, and yet I have never been to NASCAR. I've wanted to go to a NASCAR race. We have one here at the end of the year in Homestead. Okay, it's the final race of the year. I would love to. I don't know. It just never gave it some thought. I agree. I should be there though. My opinion on B&W speaker, it's a speaker, it's an iconic brand, man. B&W speakers is like saying Quell amplifiers, man. The Quell amplifiers were iconic amplifiers, right? Everyone knew a Quell amplifier. That's the same thing with B&W speakers. In my early days, B&W were the speaker to have. I mean, if you had a B&W, you were doing quite well. I just feel like other brands have surpassed B&W. B&W has always been a great price performance proposition. I don't think that B&W provides bad product or inferior products. I do believe their products are worth their asking prices. The looks are very polarizing. Some of you may love them, some of you may not love the look. Depends who you ask. But overall, I do think they're good speakers. Are they the best speakers? No, I think that's subjective. Anytime you use the word best, that just means it's someone's best and not necessarily your best. Okay. But I do think that you buying a BMW speaker, is not something that you should be like worried about or like, am I really getting ripped off? No. BMW is a very reputable brand. They have been doing it for a long time. There's a lot of heritage there, especially with those Nautilus speakers from the past. I mean, I actually wanted a pair of those for some time. I just never bought it, never got around to it. But no, it's still one of the iconic loudspeakers in the audio industry. My turntable has left a while ago, and I paid for a brand new turntable. You will see my brand new turntable when I come back from Munich. Are the Sonos Fabers more musical than Wilson Audio? Yes, they are, and I did not hesitate to say that. Okay, you didn't see me pause. Yes, my Sonos Faber SE17s are more musical than my Wilson Audios. Yes, absolutely, no question about it. It's a much more engaging, romantic sound. It's still transparent, but it's a little more forgiving. It's kind of like a cup of coffee, strong coffee, but it has a nice shot of oat milk in it or a shot of creamer in it to not make it feel very bitter and strong in your stomach. That's what Sonos Faber is. It's a nice cup of coffee, strong dark coffee with a shot of oat milk or or creamer. Okay, that makes that smooths it out. It makes it perfectly. Okay, that's what my Sonos Faber are. The Wilsons are more of that strong coffee that you may stomach it or may not, depending who you are. So yes, but overall, the Sonos Faber SE17s are more musical, no question about it. What did I like better, the Sonos Faber speakers or the Rockport Lyras? Huh? Look, it's all preferences. It's all preferences. This is all one man's opinion. It has nothing to do with any of these loudspeaker brands that I've had. I have given them flowers on every video. Wilson Audio, Focal, Magical, Rockport. I have given them flowers. Because they're special loudspeakers. As I said earlier, you can't go wrong buying any of these loudspeakers, man. You cannot go wrong. 9 pairs of Wilson Audios, 9 pairs of Magicos, about 4 pairs of Focals, 1 pair of Rockports, their extreme flagship Lyra. All of them are quality products. Okay, so at this level, it's more of like, what do you want, Lambo or Ferrari? McLaren, what do you want? Right? It's all quality stuff. But I can say that what the Sonos Faber is doing for me that's appealing that perhaps other brands didn't do right out of the gate is this musical engagement, this musicality that is very native to the speaker. It's almost as if it's embedded on the cabinet of the speaker, if that makes sense. Like if they glued musicality in the cabinet. It's what they do. I mean, I love that about the Italians. And that when it comes to loudspeaker, they have this way of engaging you that is very, very tough to forget and to remove yourself from. Hello, David. All right, Fort Worth, Texas is here in the house, and you've enjoyed Simon. Okay, so I have enjoyed Steinheim speakers and Rado speakers at shows. I have a preference. Both are great speakers. I think that the Rado is going to have a little more of this sweet sound because number one, they have that tweeter that we all know is extremely engaging, extremely sweet, and satisfying to the ears. And the Steinheim is a little more cooler sounding, clear. It doesn't have a sound per se. Steinheim doesn't really have a sound, so it takes the shape of whichever electronics you're plugging into it. It reminds me of anything a little more of Magical Steinheim. I'm not saying it's a Magical. That's not what I'm saying. But if I can Attach a name to a Steinham speaker in terms of the sound quality, they remind me a little bit of Magical, if that makes sense, but not quite the same. But it's closer to that sound than any other speaker I have heard. What do I think about Kef speakers? I have not had the chance to review. I wanted to review the Kef Blade Meta one, I think it's called. I wanted to review that speaker, but unfortunately, again, I just go through things too fast, and I don't really have the desire right now to perhaps review that speaker. I'm not saying that it's not possible. If I called around and I wanted to bring it into the lab and buy it and give you a fair review, but I just feel like most of you don't want to see Kef here. I don't know why. And I'm not saying it's bad product, but unless I'm wrong, I don't feel there's a big interest in me reviewing a speaker like that. I think you guys rather have me review the Sonos Faber or Zellaton or other big names or Borison than reviewing a Kef speaker. Have I tried open baffle speakers such as Pure Audio Project? I have not tried any open baffle speakers. I do know they do some interesting things. I do know they give you this feeling of more ambient in the room because obviously there's sound that they're transferring behind the drivers. So I hear great things about open baffle speakers. I've heard a few at shows, just never really had the urge to get out there and buy a pair. I'm not saying there's nothing special about them. I do believe they do some things sonically that other box speakers and even panels can't replicate. So I understand why some of you are very loving and appreciative of such design because there is really nothing like open baffle speakers, right? At some point, could I see myself with a set? Absolutely. Just the same way I feel I could see myself with some horns, loudspeakers, and dipole types of speakers. There's many speakers that I want to try, but unfortunately, I can't do them all. It's very expensive. My room cannot accommodate for so many speakers. And so it's the logistics to try speakers, guys. The logistics, how difficult it is to um move stuff around when I'm by myself 90% of the time, to dial in the speakers, to try to see if I can get whatever speakers in the room out the room or up against the sidewalls. In this situation right now with my Sonos Faber, it is very hard for me to remove the speakers from the room. I mean, I can't even drag them. I moved the Lyras, no problem, by myself. I've moved Wilson Alex's. I have moved Magical M6's. I have moved many other loudspeakers except the Chronosonic and these speakers. Those two these two I can't move by myself. And even with sliders under the speakers, furniture sliders, folks, it is hard to move these speakers, even on furniture sliders. It's that hard. And so that's why I'm like right now reluctant to purchasing a new set of speakers because I know my speakers are just too massive to move out of here right now. Okay. So, but in time, all comes around and eventually you'll see me try something else. I have never tried this Wilson Benish from the UK, I think it is. Never tried it. It's quite interesting because some of their drivers are like inserted upside down. And I wonder what that does for the presentation. It's a very nice, narrow design that I'm attracted to, kind of like a Borison tower, if that makes sense. But I have never really had the pleasure of being in front of this brand for an extended period of time. And maybe I should because I hear great things about this brand. Have I ever auditioned Chord monoblocks? Never tried it. The only thing from Chord that I have owned was called the Chord Dave, the DAC. Else, everything else, never tried it, never came in front of me, never had an opportunity to purchase it. Chord in general is not a very well accepted brand in the US. And it has, again, I don't think it has to do with the sound. I just feel like their market is not probably the US, it's probably more the Asian market. So in the US, you're not going to see systems with cord electronics. Very rarely will you see a system with cord monos. And again, I don't think it's bad products, it just doesn't have enough representation in marketing. Look, there are many brands from Europe that are incredible brands. Okay, many brands out there. I'll tell you right now, Zellaton is a perfect example. Okay, it's a boutique brand. It's not a mass market type of design. It's not a Wilson. It's not a Magical when it comes to the reach of the brand. Okay, it's a very small scope of audiophiles that have any interest in this brand here in the United States. Could it be because they haven't made a big push in marketing? Could it be because they're not in magazines as much as they should? Could it be because they don't have any social media presence? They don't have any influencers behind it? I don't know. What I can tell you is the following, and you need to hear this one. And this happened to me too. Some of these brands from Denmark, from Germany, from Slovakia, from Switzerland, from Sweden, you name it. Okay. Some of these brands that are there are these types of minds that do not believe in marketing. They believe their product is so good, it doesn't need any marketing. I strongly disagree. No matter how great your product is, unless you are Coca-Cola, unless you're Macintosh, unless you're Apple, unless you're Sony, you are nobody without marketing. You are nobody without marketing. I don't care how good your stuff is. It doesn't matter if you're blowing up everybody else's products out the water. If the word doesn't leave the room in which these components live in, guess what? Nobody will know you even exist. So unless these brands that will go nameless invest in pure marketing and advertising and reviews, whatever it is that they need to do, they will always be buried behind brands that are probably not better than these brands. See, you could have brands. I'll give you an example, just a name. Luxman is a perfect example. Japanese brand, quality brand, incredible construction, incredible reliability, great sweet sounding components. Beautiful, in my opinion. You could have a brand like Luxman that's doing marketing, that's on social media, that now took control of the US market, that now has a stronger presence in the United States, completely surpass you because you don't put in the work and the time in marketing, even though you may have a better amplifier, a better turntable and preamplifier than Luxman. Guess what? It doesn't matter. They're beating you to the race. They're beating you to the finish line because they're putting marketing dollars to work and you aren't. So it's so close-minded, so narrow-minded when some of these brands think that we don't need marketing. We know we're the best. You're the best to you in the mirror you're looking in front of because nobody else knows about you. So if you think you're the best and that's why you don't have to market, you are so wrong. You have no idea. Good luck trying to make a sale. And I feel sad because if you have this passion that you believe you build better components than some of the mainstream brands today, and you believe your design completely outclasses these brands that are advertising everywhere, well, wouldn't that give you more motivation to get this product in people's faces? So what do? You send smoke signals like the Indians back in the day? Is that how you market? You from the mountains in Sweden, you do smoke signals to us in the US to get us to see your product? I mean, I don't understand. Do you shoot fireworks in the sky to advertise your product? How the hell are we supposed to know you exist if you don't market? And so it's sad. This is what buries you because you may have a great mind. You may have great talent. You may have great engineering skills that easily outperforms today's brands, and you yet cannot get the word out the box. You don't matter. You're irrelevant at that point. No matter how good your product is, if you can't market it, you are irrelevant. Completely irrelevant. You don't matter. And so I want to make sure that all these brands, before I get out to Munich, I believe that we don't need to display at Munich because we know we're better than anything else the show has. I feel sad for you if that's how you feel. I feel very sad. And I got news for you. I'll make a prediction. You won't make it. No matter how great your product is, you're not going to make it. You got to get product in front of people's faces, okay? And you know what I'm talking about. Those brands that are watching me right now that do not market, that believe their stuff is the best, you know exactly right now what I'm talking about. And this is probably why you might be on the struggle. I am not familiar with this brand at all. Never heard of it. Okay, next question. I don't know if the product that will replace the discrete. I don't know if it's even going to happen anytime soon. I am getting reports that that will not be replaced anytime soon, the discrete deck. I have definitely considered, Corey, the Martin loudspeaker is a very appealing sound to me. It's very clean, very clear, very crisp, nuance, beautiful. It's a very pretty sound. And of course, the look of the speaker is wow. What a beautiful design. Those speakers look like, they were designed by, I don't know, a graphic designer or someone that is, or interior designer, excuse me. They're so good looking. Um, I have considered them. I do not know if you're going to see one of these speakers in the future, but I'm getting out there to listen to them. I am getting out there to listen to their new model that will be unveiled soon. Idiom over render, it's really system dependent. What I like about the render, what I really enjoy about the render is that the render is as plug and play as it gets. No streamer, no music server, in my opinion, comes close to how reliable and how solid a component is, or how the render components are, I should say. The render music servers have always been really bulletproof. They've never broken down on me. They've always worked. Even if your internet is not the fastest, they play music without any hiccups, without any stuttering. It buffers really quick. I love that about the render product line of products. Other brands have a harder time coming remotely close to render components. Idion is a phenomenal brand from Greece. I have not reviewed it. Full disclosure, I had asked for an evaluation, a private evaluation of this. The importer in Canada, I mean, in California, excuse me, or the distributor, quite frankly, to put it lightly, he didn't give me like a yes answer. Okay. He was kind of like, didn't sound too interested. Okay. And that's sad because if the product is really great, the representation overseas needs to be from a person that has a lot of passion, a lot of desire to see the product do well. And some of these importers, I just feel like they might have been importing shoes from China, from Brazil, purses from Italy, glasses from Versace from Italy. I don't know what they think when it comes to the audio world. I don't know if they have any clue what they're doing with some of these brands, and so oftentimes these distributors have distribution experience or importing experience, but not in the audio industry. They don't understand with an audio product, you got to send it in for a review. You got to put it in front of the right faces. You got to get the product out at shows because maybe all they have imported is sandals, Crocs, purses, sunglasses, I don't know, backpacks. Maybe that's all they've imported in their past life. And so when they are faced with an audio component, they don't connect the dots. They don't understand the importance of doing right by the brand in order to generate sales. That's my opinion. That's the feeling I get, though. No, I am not going to do a factory tour via Blue. To be honest with you, that's not something that it's on the radar. All I know, it's been a brand that has been aggressive as of late when it comes to marketing. It's been a very well covered brand by a lot of rooms. A lot of rooms are using it. They're making a huge push in the United States. I'm glad to see this, but I don't right now have any plans of doing a factory tour of any kind. If they ever contacted me and they wanted to put something together, who knows? Anything is possible. Should I trade my X3s for the C1s? I would say yes. If you're asking me, yes. I'd say the C1 is just a quieter speaker, just going to be more nuanced. It's going to be blacker backgrounds. And that's my opinion. Unless your room is huge and massive, it's just, I can't see a situation in which the C1 couldn't outperform the X3. So your favorite speakers are the Rockport Cygnus and the new Magical S5 speakers with the carbon fiber woofers. Yeah, both of them are great speakers. Rockport Cygnus have been probably the best price performance proposition from Rockport. I think it's probably been their most successful speaker when it comes to sales, the Rockport Cygnus. I would not be surprised. I've always had a great feedback about the Rockport Cygnus for the money. It's been just an incredible performer for, I think it's now $70,000, I think it is. They started at 58, 59. So the Rockport Cygnus, I've always had great feedback from those who've owned it. Yeah, these speakers have sounded good actually. The Corona audio speakers. I've heard these. There's a distributor here in the United States. I like that tweeter. I think that speaker, it sounds very big, wide, deep, very impressive speaker. So I would not be surprised if they still call my name when I see them at the show. Okay. So, but I do agree the speaker definitely has something going for it. Joseph Audio Pearl, it has been discontinued. I believe there's a new Joseph Audio speaker. I don't have any plans at the moment. All I can say is they build some quality loudspeakers. Joseph is incredible at speaker placement. He's a master, a magician when it comes to setting up his own speakers. He's made shitty rooms, shoe boxes of rooms sound outstanding. I don't know how the dude is doing it. I actually wish I could take a class with him as far as how to set up the speakers properly, because the guy does some unbelievable things when it comes to setting up his speakers. And so I think a lot of what he does could probably apply to other loudspeaker brands. Yeah, he's doing his thing, man. Joseph is always hitting it hard at shows. He's always there. He's not afraid he doesn't hide. He's not removed like some of these other loudspeaker designers. Joseph is there, rolling up his sleeves, setting up his own speakers, and doing the best he can with the rooms that he's dealt with. I'll tell you how they sound. They sound very clean, very clear, very fast, very neutral, very revealing. But I'll say this to you, this is not a speaker that will forgive you. If you are a lazy dude, if you are a person that doesn't have the funds to put the right money in the right components of your system, the right areas of your system, if you think you're going to get away with regular standard speaker cables, this is not the speaker for you. Zellaton is not for an average Joe. In my opinion, anybody who buys a Zellaton speaker is a person that wants a incredible realism from the performance, transparency, neutrality, and a very honest loudspeaker. If you hate honesty, this is not the speaker for you. It's a slab of concrete under the carpet. Nothing is going through under my foundation of this room. Nothing. Sim Audio Moon is a very musical sound. They have great bass impact. It's a non-fatiguing type of sound. I have never heard a Sim Audio amplifier, preamplifier, or DAC sound fatiguing. Never have associated the Sim Audio brand with the word fatigue. It's not part of their sound. It's not part of what they're trying to do. It's a very, very well constructed brand as well from Canada. There was a point in time in which I wanted to do a factory tour, but then unfortunately, someone passed away. I think the owner of the company passed away last year, and so the company was trying to regroup, trying to put together the internal structure of the company and figure out the best way to keep moving forward. And so when that happened, that kind of killed those conversations with me. And Yeah, and so we never picked up those conversations to see how far we can go. I really wanted to come to Canada and do a factory tour of Sim Audio. I do think it would be a very interesting factory tour. Sim Audio has always been a great brand. I've never had anything negative to say about it. I have never heard of this analog audio amp. Never heard of this. First time I hear about this brand. Acceleration for system. How about? Okay, even though the most do you feel that the added mass that comes? I think there is something along those lines. I do believe that the internal structure of a speaker, the construction, the girth, the weight, the solid structure that the speaker presents has a lot to do with the weight. I do think so. Now, that's not to say that light speakers sound bad. I'll give you an example. The Boris and O2s weigh about 60 pounds, and I was blown away with those speakers. Very light, very easy to pick up off the floor. I mean, they were like feathers, but they really scaled nicely. They had great bass. Will they scale as much as these? No. Will they pound as hard as these? No. Will they pressurize the room in the same way? No, they won't. But I do think cabinet construction has a lot to say about how a speaker sounds. If a cabinet is, let's say, made out of an exotic material, some sort of a composite, sort of a, I don't know, metal, if you will, I believe these speakers tend to have this clean sound for the most part, clear sound for the most part, but they tend to be very soulless. They have no eyeballs in the face, if you will. There is just a blank stare looking at you like this. I think these speakers do have a high level of transparency, but they don't have any sugar in them. They don't have this way of enamoring you. You have to try to steer the speakers to sound that way through tubes, through DACs that have a very smooth sound, or cables that are on the sweet side of things, which you can buy cables that are sweet sounding cables. You have to do that with these speakers. When it comes to wood, I don't think that's the same effort. I think wood speakers tend to have naturally more of a organic sound that you don't have to have, where you don't have to have like the best of the best electronics. I do feel like they are just naturally engaging. There isn't much more effort to make the speaker sound engaging because they already sound that way. These things right here, the moment I plopped them into the room and I left them, they already had musicality, and I hadn't even done anything. I had done nothing to the speakers, and I was getting a level of musicality I couldn't believe. That's the DNA in the Sonos Faber, though. Now, could I make him sound sterile? Yeah, Absolutely. Could I make him sound rough? Yes, you can. But they still have this DNA in them that lets you know we're still a very organic, real sounding speaker without chopping your ears off. Yep, you stay on the outside. I don't care how good you are. It's the same thing that someone told me, one former mentor of mine said to me the following. He said, you can be a bright mind and know everything, but if you can't teach, you're worthless. I agree 100%. If you are so bright, if you are so intelligent at whatever you do, whether it be you're a professional, you're a doctor, an engineer, and you're such an incredible level of intelligence, high IQ, but you can't teach anybody to save your life, you're no good. You're no good to any company. You're not an asset to anybody, only yourself. And that's the problem. That's why I think it's a problem with brands. Do not spend marketing dollars. It is a stupid mistake just because they believe they're all that and they're better than anyone else. They don't have to. You're not Apple. You're not Sony. You're not Coca Cola. You're not Pepsi. Okay. You're not American Airlines. You're a brand in the audio world, a niche, small demographic of people that follow you. Okay. Even the big brands like Coca Cola advertise on billboards. You mean to tell me you don't have to? And you're slinging $100,000 amplifiers and you feel you're that special that you don't have to advertise? Good luck with that. I'll see you filing chapter, for bankruptcy, chapter 11. Well, there you go. Look at that. You live in London and I covered KJ West, audio store in London, and you didn't even know you had that in your neighborhood. This is why I'm also offering these services to stores around the world, which is me going into their location and showcasing their business, the brands, the experience. Is it a family business? Is it owned by a corporation? Is it a chain? What makes this business special? What makes your store special? This is why I did the store tour of Next Level Hi-Fi in Wayne, Illinois. You guys should have seen that. That's my best work ever when it comes to showcasing a store, right? This is exactly why I do these things so that you understand that there are stores near your neck of the woods that need this marketing that I've been talking about, that should be in front of YouTube, should be contacting influencers. Because guess what? Here's something that many of you watching me may not know. Get a load of this. And I'm going to let you guys hear this now. Okay? Anytime I have, let's say, someone approach me for a marketing opportunity, meaning they either want me to go to the store to promote the location they just opened up, or they're opening up a new location in the middle of nowhere and they don't have any audience, they need to build a clientele. I say, sure, this is a sample video that I did for this store. Check it out. If you are interested in something like that, let me know. Okay, they loved it. Amazing. Wow. Yes, that was so nicely done. This is the type of stuff we want. We want this production value that you really display on your latest store tour and all of that. What's that going to run? This is my amount. This is what I need. These are my fees. Moment you say that, you heard birds, you heard just chirping, you heard quiet in the room, you heard, oh my God. And I'm like, Okay, don't say nothing. I'm not changing my prices for nobody. My prices are what they are, and I'm not changing my prices because someone feels they're not they're not affordable enough and whatnot. I feel like this. If you are opening up a location where you're going to be slinging $100,000 speakers and you're looking for clientele that can spend 200 grand, 300 grand, 50,000, 25,000, you should have no problem paying for marketing. You should have no problem understanding that marketing is not cheap. YouTube is real. YouTube is, I'm telling you right now, it is real. Okay. When I made that video about zellaton speakers last year, you guys saw in my coverage of the Munich High-End, the US distributor told me that he got calls because I mentioned zellaton speakers. He got calls. When I made a video 3 years ago about this other cable brand that is in Orlando, Florida, before I had my own cable line, okay? I think it was called Claris Cables. The owner of the company called me and said to me, "What do you need from us?" We've gotten a lot of emails. We've gotten dealers who want to evaluate the line. We got a lot of potential opportunities because you, Jay, talked about our cable brand on your channel. And he said, we got no calls from the review that we had on Absolute Sound. And I believe they may have had another review in another magazine. No calls, zero. But the moment I said something, people actually got interested and began to email this brand. So that tells you YouTube is real. People watch it. People at least will get a little bit of interest enough to make some calls, find out price points, see where they can listen to the product, right? And so I just laugh at these businesses that are with these high roller systems, big, spacious, beautiful rooms that when you tell them what you are charging for a store tour and you give them that number, they hide away. I laugh. That's what tells me you're not serious. Let's move on. Because to me, it's like you have a Ferrari dealership, yeah? You're selling Lambos, yeah? And you're gonna be skimping on marketing? Really? Mind you, Lamborghini and Ferrari are very well established brands. So maybe that's a bad example, but you know what I'm saying, right? So that to me is laugh. I laugh hard when I see that. Very few businesses are serious are marketing. Businesses like Bending Wave, businesses like Front Row Theater, businesses like Next Level Hi-Fi in Wayne, Illinois, businesses like Sonco Stadio in Sarasota, Florida. These are real businesses that spend real marketing dollars so that their presence is everywhere. And I respect businesses like that. Other businesses that are hiding and they think I'm going to fly into their location for $500. I got better things to do with my time than spend 2 days filming your store for $500. I got a lot better things to do. And again, I'm just keeping it real with you guys, my audience, keeping it 100%. But you see what I'm saying? They don't think about it like this. Jay's rates for a store tour so that we are known to exist now, so that we can get a clientele, we can get hopefully phone calls. His his fees are X amount of dollars. Well, all we need to do is sell one pair of speakers and we made our money back. They don't see it as that. They see the money up front of what I am charging. They don't bother to see the fact that all it takes is one sale because of what they're selling is very expensive. So clearly the profit margins are there. They don't see it as, man, all we need is one sale and we made our money back. That's all we need. Really. They don't see it as that. That's bad. That's a bad businessman. That's a person that doesn't think about the longer picture. The longer picture when it comes to marketing. That's all I'm saying. Do I think that the top Dynaudio are the same left front? No, negative. I don't think Dynaudio speakers current top model speaker is, I think, is the Confidence 60 is at the level of my Sonos Faber. No, I'm sorry. That's they are different levels. This is not. This speaker is at the level of the Chronosonics. This is above an Alex V. This is above a lot of other speakers. Okay, this is a speaker that's at a high level. Okay, big heavy hitters. So no, when you're talking about a Confidence 60 that is like 60 grand, I believe, you're not talking about a speaker of this magnitude, of this level. I already had a Class D amplifier about 3 years ago, Merrill Audio. Check out those videos. Look it up. Class D amplification, Merrill Audio. For free? Man, what speaker would I own if I could pick up a speaker for free, a gift from a brand? What would it be? Man, that's a lot of options, man. I couldn't even say it because maybe there's a brand willing to give me one. And by me speaking and saying someone else's name, I might be jinxing myself out of a speaker. You see what I'm saying? Got to be smart with that question. I can't tell. I can't say what that would be. D'Agostino versus Griffin. Great question, right? But before I answer that, you're all gonna hit that like button, right? You're gonna subscribe right now, right? Before I answer this question, hit that like button, subscribe. This is the type of stuff you guys want me to talk about. So please do that now before I get started. D'Agostino versus Griffin. D'Agostino is, beautiful stuff. Great looking stuff. They look like Rolex, like watches, expensive watches. Um, Very well established American brand in Arizona. Obviously the former engineer, designer of Krell amplifiers through the last 20 decades or 30 decades, 2 decades or 3 decades, excuse me. And so he's been known to create some of the best amplifiers. I still believe D'Agostino, I believe Dan still builds some of the best stuff out there. No questions asked. Griffin is just different. Griffin is just a I like the man, it's tough. Looks, it's all preference. I like Griffin. If I'm talking about looks, sound, they are both big sounding amplifiers. If we're talking about the amplification, which is what I assume you're asking about, big sound, a lot of detail, a lot of resolution. D'Agostino being on the softer side, a little more smooth, probably romantic. Griffin a lot more neutral, probably faster than D'Agostino. Incredible bass on both ends. Both brands probably deliver incredible punch. Ultimately, it's all about system matching. Ultimately, that's really what it boils down to. But the Griffin line to me so far has been nothing but spectacular with every product that I've owned. That's a good question, Marcella. I don't know if that would be one reason why, but maybe something to look into, right? If it's because they are using DSD content, um, maybe. But it did sound good. Those speakers sounded really good. I was impressed with those speakers. When will Pillion be in the lab? I would say probably not anytime soon. Probably not anytime soon, man. I don't have any interest in the brand at this time. Yeah, I agree. Daniel Hertz looks interesting, but right now I just don't have the time, the bandwidth to embark on listening to Daniel Hertz. I also don't think it's aligning with what I'm trying to do. But that's not to say that it sounds bad or it's not good product. I think it probably is both of us, both of those attributes. I believe probably it is good product, but I have no way of like vouching for it because I've never owned it. Power conditioner or better AC cables, I'd say probably power conditioning first. Yeah, because you can plug in more devices into that, a lot more devices. So power, and then you share a common ground too when you do that. So I'd say power conditioning. Um, you just have to find the right power conditioner, unfortunately, and that could be the painful part about this exercise. I still like Strom Tank, period. And you don't really need to buy expensive power cords with Strom Tank. You use a stock power cord into the back of the Strom Tank. Yes, your cheap stock power cords that come inside of your electronics, that's what you use to plug into the back of a Strom Tank. You don't really need any expensive aftermarket power cords. Why not? I just haven't really gotten around to it, man. Maybe it will happen. Maybe the X6 is, maybe by the end of the year. For now, I just cannot bring more speakers. I am loaded with these monsters. Loaded, trust me. I disagree. I don't think Borison is bad. I don't think it's boomy either. I absolutely disagree with this. I think Borison has a very clean sound. The speakers disappear in the room. They fill the room like no other speaker. When you look at the cabinet, the size of the speaker, it absolutely makes zero sense as to why they sound so massive. Great intense imaging. I don't think that I have heard a Borson speaker sound like that at shows. Personally, I have never heard it. And if you've heard it, you may want to look at the electronics that they were using. Okay, so people are wanting to know great Sonos Faber, same quality as Starrefer's one. Who will be next? I don't really know. I right now don't have any intent in bringing any TAD speakers, but I know OCD Mikey is a dealer for them, so maybe he could bring the reference TAD speakers. I don't have any thoughts on Eaglestone Works. I know they are, I think they're based out of Tennessee, United States. I know there are some happy customers, happy audiophiles with this brand. I heard great things about the brand. I've heard they give you a lot of performance, a lot of bang for the buck, but I have never thought about it. I have read a lot of reviews about it years ago, but I've never really like started to, oh my God, I want to buy it, I want to bring it. And it's got nothing to do with the brand itself. It's just other brands keep coming my way that may have prevented me from buying this particular speaker brand. Analysis Plus, I have no opinion on this brand. Never tried it, never used it. I have only heard that name thrown around. Last time I fired up my projector was last night. My Boulder amplifiers are not with me, man. Those things were gone a while back ago. Let me see what else. Yes, T plus A sound was actually very good at the show, very dynamic, very impressive sound, actually. I forgot to mention the T plus A room as one of the best rooms I heard at Expona. I should have done that. That was my bad. That was my mistake. That room did sound really incredible, really immediate, very dynamic, clean, clear, no fatigue. They played it loud as hell. I couldn't believe how hard they play it, and it just was effortless. It was just uncompressed, big sounding, great bass. It was. I probably say that's one of my most impressive T plus A performances ever. I've never heard anything from T plus A sound that good. Yes, I will be covering Expona every year because it is the largest show of the US. So I have to. Yes, that is part of the plan here. I am planning to do that at some point. If the stars align, my goal would be to have a separate room where clients can come in, give you the Jay's Audio Lab experience, real customers, real clientele can fly into town. I can pick them up from the airport and just put several systems in front of them with some of the best stuff out there where they can come and listen to the main heavy hitters, Solutions, the Darziels, the Magicos, and Wilsons in the same room. I want to be able to put in front of you brands that typically do not live under the same roof because of manufacturers' relationships. For instance, you probably will never see a Magical Wilson loudspeaker in a US store. There's only one store in Buffalo, New York that has that, but the rest of the stores in the US will never display a Wilson and a Magical loudspeaker. So there are some system combinations that do not live under the same roof here in the United States. So I would love to be able to have like three listening rooms, brands that are typically never competing against each other at any show or other stores, and just have real customers come in and tell me, Jay, I want to listen to the Wilson Audio Sasha with Darziel monos and the Darziel preamp, and then let's switch over to the Magic M3s. I'm going to buy your Magic M3s or your Sasha Alexia V. I just need to hear both of them with the same electronics, and we'll do the deal. I want to do that. I want to cater to people like that. I want to cater to people that want to buy a product that I have and that normally they can't go to two, three, four dealers to hear. I want to have it all under one roof so that you can come in, assuming you're serious and not wasting my time. I can pick you up. I can take you to dinner. I can literally let you, here's the iPad, do your thing, no pressure. When you're ready, just text me. I'll come back inside the room and tell me what your findings are. That's what I want to do. I want to have zero pressure, the zero pressure approach, right? Where you are going to be your own judge of what you want to buy from me based on your own findings within my room, within my lab. That's ultimately my goal and what I want to do. But it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of money. It's going to take a lot of resources, also conversations with different brands. But yeah, I want to have an experience like no other. And I think I'm going to do it. I just need to finalize a few things before I can embark on this production. I don't even have a car audio. My car audio is a straight stereo system that came inside the truck, believe it or not. Don't even have that, man. No plan on bringing David Burning's 845 211 amps into the lab. Um, yeah, I don't have any, unfortunately, any plans at this time. Um, I don't even know. I don't think I've seen them, Luis. So I need to look at them first. Maybe I'll see them at Munich. Sonos Fiber Sound versus the Grande Utopia or versus the Focal Utopia. Those two couldn't be more different. Sonos Fiber is always going to be the more musical speaker. The Focal is going to have that beryllium tweeter that will give you a lot of resolution at low volumes like no other speaker can. The only problem I think is that the Sonos Fiber needs a lot more hand holding. You have to be able to really dial in that speaker with the right amplifiers, preamplifiers, cables. If you get too funny with that speaker, it can get very bright on you. So you have to be really careful with focal speakers in general. Okay, they can be bright. In my opinion, that's their DNA. I have seen great results with bolder electronics and VAC, as well as AccuFace with Focal loudspeakers. Name sounds really good with Focal loudspeakers, so look into Name Electronics too. But overall, Focal builds a quality product. Sonos Faber does too. It's just Sonos Faber already comes with that musical DNA in it. You don't have to work hard to extract that from the speaker. So yeah, they're very different sound, but again, quality products at the end of the day. And with that said, we are at the 2-hour mark. I have to get going, folks. I am headed to Munich, and I will see you in about 5 days. I urge you right now to turn on your notifications on. Please turn them on right now. Subscribe to the channel right now. Hit the like button right now, because you do not want to miss the content that I will be shooting from Munich. You do not want to miss it. I will be ahead and in front of everyone else at Munich. I promise you. Just like I went to Expona. Did you see my coverage at Expona? Did you not see I was there while I was shooting video while they were setting up? I was showing you 2-3 days before the show started what was happening behind the scenes. Now, if you are a supporter of mine, I'm assuming you saw that footage, right? You saw that content. I'm going to do the same thing at Munich this time. You're going to see footage, you're going to see videos, you're going to see a lot of things before anybody else shoots. If you want to stay up and current with the most interesting footage from Munich, you need to subscribe right now and turn on your notifications, okay? There will be probably, my goal is to upload by next Sunday, starting Thursday. I start Thursday morning. My goal is to shoot about 50 videos in 4 days. Yes, I didn't stutter. 50 videos in 4 days. You will see a huge level of work from me at Munich like you have never seen before. 50 videos in 4 days. You are going to be seeing every possible thing I can film for you. I promise you that. This is where you want to be if you want to see the Munich High-End Show. Right here. This is where you want to tune in. Believe me. I'm going to leave everybody else behind. How do I know that? Because I ain't afraid of work. That's how I know that. Okay? So, thank you for your time. Thank you for that support. And I will see you in Munich in about 4 to 5 days. If you are there, come and say hello. Introduce yourself. Tell me about you and your system. I'll be glad to chat and connect with all of you from around the globe. Those of you who can't go, stay here. Tune in here next week. I'm going to bring you the latest and the best from the Munich High-End Show in 2024. Talk to you soon, and I'll see you in a week or so. Peace.